Hello friends, it's Chrissy, and I have something very exciting to show you today. This has all happened like really quick, and today is Tuesday. I'm gonna be uploading this on Tuesday, and this applies explicitly to Friday. So there is a short window here to get in on round one, and I'm just gonna quit beating around the bush and I'm gonna tell you. So, Chrissy, that's me. I'm making a tarot deck. And I wanted to walk you through like what my process has been, and to give you the details if you want in on like version one. And I'm just going to be totally honest, very transparent. Version one is not going to be perfect. When I was looking at ordering a deck, even a prototype, the price that I would have to pay for one was a little bit, one that was even uncut. So just like a color printing, I'm like, I'm not excited about that price. And two, I want it out into the world, right? Like I want it in my hands and I want you to have it in your hands, even if it's imperfect. So today is Tuesday, April 26th. On Friday, whatever day Friday is, you would think that like Chrissy would have consulted a calendar before I had this conversation, but I did not. Friday is the 29th. So Friday around noon Eastern, I'm going to make an order for my deck. I will order as many as there is interest. This is not a pre-order. This is not a commitment to buy. This is anyone who expresses interest at this point between now and Friday will have there will be a deck for you that I will probably, once I get them in, I'll probably give a week or so for you to claim before I just send whatever else is left out into the world. I'm hoping that, I'm hoping to have a guidebook finished. It would be an e-guidebook by the time that the deck is published, by the time the deck is in my hands to get to you, but I don't know if that's realistic. And then I have no idea what like version 2 would entail. I'm sure that there will be some color correction for me to do in version 1. There may be some shades that are really close to each other. You'll see why that's important in a second. But I want it. And I am very aware of my perfectionistic traits, and I don't want that to prevent you from having it in a timely manner. So let's talk about the Narrative Alchemy Oracle. So this is a deck that I have created to be used in whatever practice you have. It is an Oracle deck with a keyword on each card, but it is also based in tarot. So each card, each keyword relates to a tarot card. If you know nothing about tarot, you can ignore that. You don't have to use the tarot correspondence at all. Each card has a color where I match the tarot correspondence and the keyword with a chakra. So the cards are seven colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, teal, and purple. Teal goes before blue. Green, teal, blue, purple. Personally, for me, the crown chakra resonates with the purple color, not with the white. So where some people will go green, blue, purple, white, in my body, I understand it as green, teal, blue, purple. So that's how my deck is arranged. So, I don't know what it's going to cost yet. I will order at least as many as join the waitlist. There's a waitlist down below. There's a link just to get you on the list for first dibs once I get the deck in. But let's talk about my process. So the first thing that I did was I actually used my the book that I created, the research that I did for Inner Wands Tarot School, all 200 and some odd pages of my notes. I do have a video walking through my tarot resources, my tarot journals. I use this to boil each card down into a keyword. And then I went through, I think it ended up being like 17 of my decks. And I put the decks, I sorted them by chakra. of my tarot decks. So what each, how the chakra energy, whether that was roots, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, or crown, what chakra in that deck each card resonated with. I found this actually to be a little bit of a waste of time, mainly because, well, one, I ended up letting the keywords almost completely decide the chakra. There were a few where I used my spreadsheet of different decks and different cards and how they aligned. I used that in a few places to like break a tie. But for the most part, I found that decks themselves had different chakra energies. And if you're interested in me walking through my decks and what chakra or what area of chakras that different decks resonated with, let me know and I'll be happy to walk you through that. But I ended up with 78 keywords for 78 cards. And this was about a week ago, I think, that I boiled everything down. And then I started making prototypes. So the first prototype that I made, come here, come on, come here, come on, this baggy little baby friend, is tiny. And it is actually just sheets of paper that I cut up to make a little deck. And this is I ended up not being able to use these because I had written them in this horizontal, in this landscape instead of portrait. They will be portrait. And because this was horizontal, I couldn't wrap my brain around it. So then the next thing I did, actually, I think the same day, maybe the day after, was I went to, oh, there are more cards in here. I went to Staples, Office Max, one of those two. I don't know about you, but anytime I hear Staples, I think about in 30 Rock, where Tracy Jordan's son opens the Staples restaurant because they have all the staples. Please tell me this resonates with you. 30 Rock is like, 30 Rock and Seinfeld are like the soundtrack of the Bentley household. Anyway, I went to Staples and I picked up index cards. And this was where I actually thought, this is concrete. This is what my deck will look like. With just the single word across the card. And even at this point, I was thinking that I was going to go back through my list. So I put the card that each keyword, so release pairs with the Ten of Swords. And I thought that I was going to, I have a lot of stickers, like tiny dot stickers left over from power sheets, that I was actually going to go in and put stickers of each chakra from the cards from my beautiful spreadsheet. Want to go back, my spreadsheet of how I had organized different cards from different decks into chakras. All of that, by the way, is on the highlight reel on my Instagram at The Narrative Alchemist. But once I put the chakra that aligned to the keyword on the card, I'm like, oh, this is it. It's not even, but it's pretty much even. So I have prototype 2. And then I decided, once I decided that I had that just the basic keyword chakra was the chakra that I was committing to for the deck, at that point, I went to Michael's. I don't have any particular memory with Michael's. And I picked up, I don't know why I'm so nervous to show you these, but I'm very nervous. I picked up just primary color cards, and I created my deck. I did trim these down so they would shuffle a little bit better, and each card, some of these are really hard to see because I had to make do with what I had, but this is generally what the deck will look like. Here's a card with my handwriting with the keyword in white, and then if you're interested, the little tarot correspondence in the bottom corner. There will be a small, this is the little guide sheet that I'm going to include with the deck that just tells the symbology of the suits and how I approach the numbers with the quartz. But this is my deck. So last week I sat down with this deck. I actually was that last Wednesday because my husband had dance class. I took this deck and I went to a pizza place and I sat outside and I invited readings on Instagram, and I did single card draws. I wanted to know how this deck reads. I wanted to know how it resonates. There are black cards in here because there was only one teal. So one shade of teal, so the throat chakra is black in this deck, but it's not in my actual deck. And let me tell you, friends, this deck, it doesn't mess around. It's a little bit bossy, and it's funny. I told my husband that. I'm like, you know, Nathan, my deck is a little bit bossy. And he kind of chuckled and he said, of course it is. You made it. He's not wrong. So then over the weekend, I decided to actually put it together. Today is Tuesday. So over the weekend, I put the deck together in Procreate. And I'll just show you. Let's look at the teals because they're pretty. So this, go away email. So these are my throat chakra cards. These are all of the different shades. Teal. And then we have, I also really, the third eye, I really like all of these blues. And then these are the third eye. I was really going back and forth with what I wanted to put on as the backings of the deck. This is the one thing that I'm not sure about because I think it may be too busy. I like it, but I don't know if I love it. This is the one place where I'm really just like saying, let's do this and see if it works. But this is the back of the card. The cards, plural. So this is the backing. Where do you see it? My window. Here we go. This is the card back of the Narrative Alchemy Oracle. So yeah, that's where I am. That's my process. I don't intend in any way, shape, or form for this to be my only run of this deck. And I also don't see me ordering very many more than the interest that is expressed in this deck, mainly because like I'm going to pay for them all out of pocket originally with this first version and then sell them out of my house. I don't know what I will do with a second with version 2, and I already have like 2.0 in my head. If this speaks to you, if you're curious, if you want to know more when it comes out, there's a mailing list, a link in the description box below. I will only order as many as there is interest. Once they come in, it's going to be about a month. I hope to have the guidebook finished by then. If not, I will have at least the bones of a guidebook to get to you, and we'll get the rest out as soon as possible. It will be an electronic guidebook in the beginning. I'll probably give a week or so for those of you that express interest to claim and purchase those decks once I get them in, and then I will offer what few are left for probably to my mailing list, my general mailing list, and then to Instagram if there are any that move on from there. So again, getting on this list does not is not a commitment to buy. It is, it holds a deck for you. So that is the making of the Narrative Alchemy Oracle. If you have any questions, let me know. I can't wait. I can't wait to get this deck in your hands. I think there's so much space for healing from whether you're an oracle reader, whether you're a tarot reader for others, for yourself, as a Reiki practitioner, as someone who works in chakras. If you want to have a theme for a meditation or a yoga practice, if you don't understand or aren't interested in having a relationship with cards at all outside of that, I think it has room to do a lot of things in your hands. And honestly, if no one else buys a deck and I have this deck in my hands, I'll have what I want from it. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you're interested in the Narrative Alchemy Oracle, the list is below. Have a great day, my loves.